Unity, the big game engine, has decided to start raising their costs for everyone. It's not by a lot, they're charging you only 20 cents per people who install your game. But for some people, that can add up to be kind of a lot of money. In some cases, we're talking about a cool million. It's kind of insane. There's a lot of different reasons why they might have done it. I think I know the right one, but let's see what other people have to say. And as you can see, people are not exactly happy with it. Like this guy from Twitter. Game developers waking up to 1 million downloads in 2023 and in 2024. Ooh. I can just imagine you make a game, you work really hard, it launches okay, you go to bed, you wake up, and then you owe $200,000. Yikes. Yeah, that's not a fan. Not a fan of any of the random you succeeded, so now you owe a ton of money situations. It's very scary. I got a feel of it, dude, because we use Unity. Why are you making it so hard to use your engine and to enjoy it? Already, Unreal's got all this stuff going on. Real's got all these fans. It's a great engine. But we're over here on Unity, and y'all just like, you just need to do us dirty. You find the need to say, what if we did them extremely dirty today? Wah! That's how I feel as well. From Reddit here, the recent pricing changes are only the beginning. Now introducing the Unity Battle Pass. Overwatch 2, but on Unity, the game engine battle passes are coming. They are coming. Years of academy training ways. It's just like, you invest into the engine. You invest into the engine. And then they just go and change everything. We gotta go with blueprints. I know, C++ isn't bad, but like, come on, man. So yeah, I think I agree with all the memers so far. This is some crap. It's some garbage. But let's dig in a little more into what's actually going on here. Now, you know it's a terrible announcement when they have to start walking it back a day later. Like today they said, okay, maybe we won't do the whole by install thing. Maybe it's by user. They also dropped the news at like 5 p.m., which is the classic, we hope you don't see this announcement sort of time to drop. I'm shocked they didn't just do it on Friday at 5 p.m. so that literally no one would see it. And like we saw earlier, the CEO and different people are selling stock ahead of the announcement. This smells like desperation. They're trying to find some way to make money off of the engine. The thing to keep in mind here is that Unity does not make most of their money off of game studios making large games. It's not how they do it. The game engine part of their business is less than half of the money that they make. They make most of their money from the side of their business where they're doing stuff like selling ads. The majority of people making actual money using Unity are mobile game companies. They're trying to find some way to make money off of mobile game companies that don't have to spend their money with Unity. They make a lot of their money right now from Unity ads, selling ads in mobile games. But if you have a mobile game made on Unity, you don't necessarily have to use Unity ads. You can sell ads through other platforms. Now, they get money every single time you get someone to install that app, which is a lot of times for these big mobile games. So we're gonna look at what a few other people are saying on like Twitter and Reddit, get a sense of how people are feeling. Now, first of all, I like that they've already updated the Unity logo to have a fire on it. I mean, someone should check on Unity's headquarters. Someone might have literally set a fire, given the way that people are acting about it. Should Unity CEO be fired? John, I'm not gonna say his last name. Ricoletto, I can never come close to it. The CEO of Unity has already has formed. My Dougie can English, but anyway, the latest pricing debacle shows that Unity's leadership is completely out of touch with its customers. This is unacceptable. I think that's pretty fair. The whole calling your users effing idiots a year ago thing was very strange. I think that Unity is a little out of touch with its individual developers, and the CEO has been like selling shares and stuff. I don't know if he's long for Unity, I'll be honest. It's not looking pretty. I kind of agree with this guy, although it might be a little bit much with what he's saying. I've used Unreal before, but I'm more of a Unity guy these days. That might be changing. Pretty cool to see Unity execs performing actual insider trading by selling shares mere days before the obvious poop show that is now the pricing structure changes. Yeah, this is a little bit sussy. I'm not gonna lie, this is really sussy. So this guy sold 37,000 shares for $1.4 million a few days before. The CEO sold shares a few days before. It seems like they have zero confidence in their own company right now, and they are trying to cash out. In a perfect world, this would probably get prosecuted for actual insider trading, but we all know that's not going to happen. It occurs to me that Unity's new pricing model incentivizes developers to get people to buy their games, but then never install them. Steam players, you know what to do. You've been preparing all your lives for this moment. Remember your trading. I wish this wasn't true of me. I probably have dozens of Steam games I've never installed. I mean, this is a funny tweet. It's a funny take. I don't think that that's actually what they're going after. I don't think that Unity made this change with Steam in mind. I think it has nothing to do with Steam or consoles, but this is still a funny outcome. The Steam stale warriors are going to do well. They don't have to pay Unity as much. Hey Unity, just take a 5% cut. I don't mind fees. I mind instability and bureaucracy. I don't want to look through several tables and charts just to figure out how your new pricing model works. My 5 cents of Unity frustrations. Exactly. The 5% cut, you can just budget that in. But price per install, where you got to be doing all this math of like, okay, how many installs am I going to get? How many am I going to sell? And where you can get in trouble for accidentally doing too well, that's something that we don't like. That's something we want to avoid. Whereas 5%, you know you can pay it because it's just 5% of the money that you actually make. In this case, you can be getting charged for users who aren't paying anything, which is crazy. This is one of the worst parts about it, is that people can maliciously download your game and then you have to pay money for it. And so even if they don't play it, even if they don't pay you a dime, you have to spend money because they press the download button a bunch of times. Stupid. Hey Unity, thanks for sharing our currently in development game. I hope you reconsider the recent change of policy in pricing and fees per install. You will literally kill this project and many others by going forward with it. This will affect the livelihoods of many indie developers. Because this is a video that Unity posted literally a couple days ago of somebody's game, which looks pretty cool. It's also an indie game. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy paying for every single person who installs this. That is ridiculous. So let's say you got a free game. It's doing pretty well. You get 1 million installs. You now owe Unity $200,000. Now, that drops by a lot if you end up paying a subscription to Unity. If you're paying for their pro subscription, you'd be paying $20K. And if you're paying for the highest tier subscription, $10K. So only $10,000 for getting 1 million installs. You also have to pay thousands of dollars on top of that for the subscription. For every single developer you have working on Unity, you have to pay around $5K for every single developer. You don't even have to be working on the game that had 1 million downloads. It's just they work in your studio. It's silly. It's still cheaper than just paying the $200K, but it gets kind of ridiculous really fast. But remember, this stuff's for installs, not players. Now, it might be for players going forward. Not 100% clear on that one. If they do end up going with the buy installs price, that number can jump up a lot just by people uninstalling and reinstalling. Let's say you got some haters who happen to have a little bit too much free time. They could spin up bots to go ahead and install your game and then uninstall it a bunch of times. It doesn't take that many uninstalls and reinstalls to cost you very real money. It's like 5,000 installs to cost you $1,000. And with bots, like, to be honest, I could spend that up in like a day or two. And then not to mention for mobile game developers, you know, like your phone uninstalling and reinstalling the app because you don't play it that often, which is something that iPhones already do and some Android phones already do. And huge amounts of installs in the like millions and tens of millions happen all the time on mobile. Like, let's look at a real game. Pocket Champs. It's made by Madbox, right? This game's made in Unity. It's an indie game. That means for this game, which has 10 million plus installs, drops down to a cool 100K if you're on the paid tier, which is a lot better, but you're also going to be paying $5,000 for every single developer you have working on Unity in your studio. And for a studio like this, that's a lot of $5,000. It adds up very quickly. That kind of puts you in a box with the whole price per seat versus price per install thing. And again, even if they're already paying for Enterprise, this is just an extra 100K dropped on the board for one game. And they have multiple games. So people are doing a lot of comparison too between Unity's pricing and other game engines. Obviously Godot, $0. But Aka Software here did like a very specific example of what it would look like on Unity versus Unreal. So if we look at an example, you have a game that sells 1 million copies at $10 per install. Then you're making $10 million in revenue. For Unity, you would owe them $54,000 just for runtime costs. You're also going to owe them per seat like we talked about earlier, but that's not too bad because on Unreal, you would owe $450,000 because they take a flat 5% cut of your revenue, but they discount the first million, so it's $450,000. It's really unlikely that you're going to have so many developers that you're going to pay more on Unity than you are on Unreal in this example. But this example is not super realistic. Like, what games out there are selling 1 million copies at $10 per copy? You have a group of indie games. That's about it. Most other games, you're going to have a lot of other variables going on, like DLC, in-app purchases, and price per copy straight up being a lot higher. But for specifically indie developers who make games for like consoles and PC, This comparison makes it look like Unity's still a good choice, and it seems like Unity is still pretty well positioned as the engine for you if you're an indie developer making a game around that size. But again, this model starts to fall apart a lot more when you start looking at mobile games, which is where they're really putting their focus. I want to know what you guys think about it. Please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.